I think I'm comfortable with the makeup of it, Sean. I think that the group and the job that the coaches have done over the whole season, right from day one to training camp to now, and the players. I think we talked about that when William first came back. You know how the group has handled various different things. Austin being out, William being out. Now we've had Fred out as well. The way that they've hung in and handled those things, and if you look at where we're at in the standings overall, I still have to be very happy about that. And I think they've earned the right for us to explore ways that we can continue to make the team better. So we're trying to do that, and if there are things that are fair, we feel that that fit for us in the short and long term, then we'll continue to explore all that. And our hope is that our window where we're in contention and continue to get better expands for many years, as many as humanly possible. But I think we do have some space now, and we can improve the group, and like I said, I think we'll continue to look to explore all those avenues to do that. You're right. We may not have the same cap space at the deadline in the future, but I think that's where we'll be expecting our development model and our program here, and some internal development of our guys.
When it comes to trade deadline and maybe adding a player or two, I believe you said in the past your preference is to add a player with term rather than a rental. Are you sticking with that? Is the market there for that kind of player?
Well, I think that it depends on what you're willing to pay, right? That would certainly be our preference, to have somebody that we know is going to be a part of our group for beyond this season. But if there are players that we think that are expiring at the end of this season that can help our group, we won't necessarily shy away from that either. It's just finding the right people and players that can come into the locker room and help us, Kevin.
Do you feel like you have the prospect capital to make that kind of move, or do you kind of have to look at the current roster?
I have a real smart-ass answer to give you, but I'll shy away from it.
No, you could tell us. We won't tell anyone.
Well, I think there's a lot. I think, frankly, I see. We have some discussion about the way that some of our prospects are rated and where our system is at, and I just think that the analysis that's done is so littered with recency bias, and basically anybody who played in the World Juniors is rated very high, and anyone who didn't, for whatever reason, is rated much lower because they haven't been. It's easy to see people at the World Juniors, and we had Sand in there, and he rises up the chart even though he got hurt there, and our others who weren't there are not, even though they've played better than they were previously, they're down. I think other teams in the league recognize that, and I think the consternation regarding our prospect pool I just think is a little bit ill-informed, and I can tell you that based on the calls we get from other teams asking about a litany of players within that system. So I feel we have the prospect capital both to develop very good NHL players to help us out, to make trades if we need to, and we also have all of our draft picks and then some. So I think we're very well suited to do whatever we need to do, Jonas, with our when it comes to moving out various elements of our club to better our club now.
What's the trade market like? How much calls are you taking, making, that sort of thing?
I thought you're supposed to know that.
I want to confirm things.
It's good. I think everyone's just doing their job right now, calling around, making sure you're aware of what's happening, and it's obviously it picked up there a little bit, and now it's sort of slow as teams go into this break, and various teams have pro scouting meetings and different things happening. So I think after the break, or even heading in, it'll start to pick up again, and then it'll come to its peak by the 25th.
You looking forward to that?
I'm excited.
Marlies are doing really well of late. Do you look at them as in terms of post-deadline as possibly having something that you guys could use up here?
Well, I think there's lots of players down there that are on the cusp of coming out. And just to relate it back to Jonas's question earlier, Trevor Moore has come up here and played very well, and Callie Rosen has played extremely well down there as the #1 defenseman, and both of them have signed extensions. But you start to go beyond that and look at the rest of the roster. On defense, we've had some injuries down there. Borgman has just returned from injury, and Liljegren will be back soon, as will Sandin, and those are kind of our top prospects there. And they've been out. But up front, the way that the job that Sheldon in combination with Scott Pellerin have done with the group, I think there's 4, 5, 6 forwards that we'd be confident in calling up right now, and knowing they could fill in much in the way that Moore did. So for us, it's imperative that the team continues to develop talent down there, and they've done a wonderful job doing so. Even if they aren't the most heralded prospects, they've come in and been able to been very good players for us, and we're very excited about that next group that's continuing to come. And you see their development as young players continue to improve, and then that's impacting the success of the team. Even though the goaltending there has been unstable, it's kind of stabilized now, and they've had some injuries, and I think it just speaks to the job that that Sheldon and the development staff have done in righting the ship there. So it's exciting for us for sure.